cells. Can we share the next slide?
Yeah.
All right, so we will focus more on sharing our experience from School of Business, yeah, our current practices. But I believe this is this can be applied to other areas as well. Yeah.
You need to.
Because
Is it on already?
um, okay.
Jadi kalau change the page.
Okay. Okay, so these are the topics that we will discuss later. The first one, we will talk about supervision, introduction to supervision. I'll discuss more on supervision roles, and then we'll talk about key skills for effective supervision. And after that, we'll be talking about supervision styles. And Dr. Jasmine will continue with providing feedback and evaluation. And in the last part, we'll be talking about ethical considerations. Yeah. And before we conclude the short. Okay, before we start, let us share with all participants your challenges in supervising FYP students using this, just scan this QR and then just type the challenges that you are facing so that we can address the issues later. Those online, you can also scan the QR. Oh, QR code.
You cannot write too many words, right?
Yeah.
Just not point.
Yeah, just the key point.
And you can type as many.
Yes, you can submit. Right, it's clear. The right is the keywords. What are the common challenges that you have faced in supervising your students? You scan the QR, if you can go to the Mentimeter page.
That's me.
Okay, what about challenges? What are the challenges?
Challenge is something.
Okay,
Always wrong.
okay.
Things always
One
not.
citation reference, okay, one citation.
No, that is number one.
Number one,
Yeah.
citations, all right.
Number two, meeting. Yeah.
Okay, all right. What else? What are the challenges that you can share? Submitted. Submitted. Thank you. I think so. Explain analysis tools. In terms of supervising, just among students.
What about the people that are online? Are they not responding?
I'm not sure. They should be able to scan and participate, right? Yeah.
The others are. Got so many, but they didn't let others see.
With multiple submissions, search methods, students' lack of knowledge, students' cooperation. Common challenges with missing MIA students, right? No response, you email, you call them, there's no response. Those are common issues. Yes, lack of knowledge. All right. Okay, so I believe there are more challenges that we are facing. Students' cooperation right now. Identify problem statement. Okay, I guess more of the challenges are towards knowledge. All right. So we hope to address that later. But of course, we are not going to focus on the knowledge part. This is more training will focus more on guiding the supervisors on how to supervise effectively. Because talking about challenges nowadays, we have language barrier, especially those from China. Students are not able to communicate in English. Students with attitude issues, lack of motivation, those kind of issues. So hope to address those issues. Okay, next. All right, we start with roles of a supervisor. And when we talk about roles of supervisor, basically we need to know what are our roles, what are we supposed to do? Okay, as a supervisor, what are we supposed to do? There are three. The first one is mentorship. You are your student's mentor. You are your student's mentor. As a mentor, you have to guide and support. And of course, in order to guide and support, our own knowledge is very important, right? Our own knowledge is very important. We have to keep learning. We have to keep reading, especially in like SOB, we have limited numbers of lecturers. In certain areas, you may need to guide students doing other disciplines as well, other specialization as well. But the research process can be the same. The same process that we have to go through, just like the students, but in terms of content, in terms of knowledge, we need to do the reading as well, not only students. So we need to provide intellectual guidance and encourage critical thinking. How to do this? Example, sometimes students, they come and, it's good if they can share something with you, but sometimes they can miss, I have no idea. I'm blur, I have nothing. Any idea what you want to do? No. So what you can do, you can suggest. But of course, it's up to them to take it or not. But how to encourage them to think and to read? You can suggest articles. Articles from journals. I normally give them 2 or 3 articles. Read these articles and come back to me. Tell me which one you have interest, which one that you prefer to do, and come back to me and tell me what it's all about briefly. So indirectly, you are encouraging them to read the articles. So you may also discuss relevant theories. FFA. In order to discuss relevant theories, you need to know about the theories as well. So we also need to learn. And 2, you need to build the confidence among those students. This can be quite challenging. If you have students with high confidence, no issue. The smart students, they are well prepared. Means I want to do this, I want to do that, I have few articles that I have read, I want to do something like this. Fine, you can just proceed guiding them, right? But those without any idea and they say that this is, I have no idea at all, and I found that this process is so, because when they do their FYP, they found that this is a lonely journey. Because if they ask their friends doing different topics, they have no idea what to do. So we need to support them. We need to support them. There are students that you may need to give them some ideas, what are the areas that they can explore. But of course, you may ask them, what is your specialization for marketing? Marketing, there are so many areas. Under marketing, what are specific areas that you would like to do, maybe purchasing, fashion, consumer behavior. So try to narrow down from there until you can find their interest. Yeah? And in order to build their confidence, you need to acknowledge them, even small achievement. Even one paragraph, they write to you, okay, you have done something, even though it's probably wrong, yeah, but you need to encourage them, because otherwise, there's no progress, yeah, there's no progress. We don't want students to feel frustrated, no guidance, feeling lost, yeah, and don't know what to do, because they have only 2 semesters for SOB, they have only 2 semesters, FYP1 and FYP2 to complete the whole research. Okay, so next role is project management. Okay, we guide them to think, we build their confidence, encourage them, but at the same time, we need to guide them for their planning and organization. We have deadlines. FYP coordinator will share the final deadlines. FYP1 end of semester, FYP2 end of semester. But FYP1, the first 3 chapters must be completed. So as a supervisor, you need to assist them. So 3 chapters, chapter 1, I'm expecting to have by end of this month. Chapter 2, when are you supposed to submit to me? And chapter 3, when are you supposed to submit? So from that final deadline, you can help them to break down their projects into chapters. It's up to you. It can be chapters, it can be those research steps, yeah? Collecting data, analyzing. It's up to you as a supervisor to plan. So you can break down the projects, yeah, into manageable tasks. Because sometimes you can't just tell them, okay, chapter 1 by end of this month, and you have no idea what am I supposed to write in my chapter 1. Yes, we have a FYP handbook, we have guidance, we have full details on open learning, but sometimes I'm not sure whether they read open learning, they read the handbook, yeah, but we need, please read FYP handbook. FYP handbook is here in the open learning, this download, and it's all there, because sometimes they are not aware. Yes, we supply this.
Never there.
Never there.
No.
Okay, so
No, it's not. Are you sure it's not? No, it's not. Then I show you. Oh, it's there.
yes, to an extent, we have to take the laptop. Yes,
Yeah.
we need that, right, Sheila? Okay, on your laptop, where's your open learning? Open your FYP page, go to this folder, there. Oh, yes, it's there. All right, so to that extent, yeah, but I hope we don't have to do that. All students, maybe those that need more guidance.
I don't give them a chance. I usually give it them. I don't give them a chance to say I don't have it.
You just tell them that,
Here, this is your FYP handbook.
oh, you give them.
I don't give them a chance. Because always I ask you, right? What's the latest?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
that's the one. Because I usually have a WhatsApp group. I just put it there. So you cannot say, I don't know, I don't have, I didn't read. It's right there.
Yeah, it depends on the supervisor's style. Because FYP handbook is there, but there are other materials as well on open learning. So I believe they must go to that open learning page to get more supports in terms of citations, referencing, more guidance, SPSS, So many notes there. So if they don't go to that FYP page, open learning, then there will be limited resources for these students. Yeah. So, two, project management is the resource management. Go back to those resources. FYP students are supposed to be final year students, but I think it's normal. Sometimes students told us that, Miss, where to get articles, Miss, where to get reliable sources. So one, of course, they love that Google, yeah. So one is Google Scholar. You can tell them, yeah. But I think most of the final year students, they're aware of this Google Scholar. But sometimes I'm not aware of our own library resources. Yes, even for SOB, we conduct every semester, we have workshops conducted by librarian. I call librarian to share how to get those resources using our own library's website. The keywords, the buzzwords, everything steps by steps. But now, library also share the details on their website. So what I did, I posted all the details from the library to our open learning page, hoping that students will go and explore. But still, we can tell them, okay, Miss, I got this from Google Scholar, I cannot download because I need to pay. So, how to get this article? Go to your library. Even the librarian shared with us, just come to us and tell us which article you cannot download. We will help you to get the article. So it's very important to tell them that the support is there. Okay, so we have to assist. Of course, not to an extent that, okay, you cannot get the article, download and give it to them. I think it's not right because we want to spoon feeding these students. They have to know how to be independent. They have to know how to survive. As long as we can tell them the support is there, go here, go there, go to open learning page, go to the library. I think it's enough. Yeah, the rest should be their own effort. Okay. Next role, quality assurance. This is also important. Yeah. Okay, this is also important, especially lately, the requirements from Australia, want us to incorporate this ethical issues into our research project, as one of the competencies. All right, so one, you have to ensure the research integrity, good ethical research practice. First of all, no ghostwriter. Yes, one ghostwriter, two copy paste. Yeah, and this is quite normal among our students. Copy paste. Yeah, and especially nowadays with the AI, ChatGPT. Yeah, so it's very challenging to guide these students, and we need to go through their methodology. We need to go through how they got these articles, and then we have to be very careful when they cite, especially when they adopt the questions for their survey. They simply cite. Yeah, they simply cite. We need to put an effort to check the articles that they have cited, especially those questions that they have adopted, the survey items that they have adopted, to make sure that those are original authors of those survey items. Yeah, because sometimes they found those survey items in an article, then the article written by A, they just cite A, without reading the methodology part that A also adopted from somewhere else. So we have to make sure that they cite correctly. Yeah, because it's I think last semester, those A and B plus report will be sent to library, so that will go online. So we have to be very careful with all these citations, referencing, okay, to avoid those unethical conducts. So check their methodology, check their referencing, okay. And what we can also do, discuss the importance of obtaining informed consent from participants. I think this one, to please check the survey form questionnaire before they release, before they distribute to respondents. very important to highlight to your students to get your approval before they start data collection. Yeah, but few cases that we face, I guess, they just distribute without getting consultation from the supervisor, and this is totally wrong because even when you read their cover page, I mean the first part of their survey items with the wrong university name, with wrong program name, the way they're printed, so it's embarrassing because that will go external. So please highlight in the beginning, tell your students that you need to check, you need to get approval from your supervisor before you distribute your survey to your respondents, potential respondents. Yeah. And two, maintain the standards. We need to know what are the requirements. I mean, we revise every sem, we update the FYP handbook every semester in terms of referencing. Last time Harvard, now we changed to APA7. So sometimes students they are not aware. We revise every sem, we upload the latest one every sem, but still they start using Harvard. That's in Chicago. So why did you use Harvard? Oh, because my seniors told me that they use Harvard. Yes, your seniors use Harvard, but that was like 3-4 years back. Yeah. Why did you use this format? Why do you use all local? Miss, because my seniors use this. It's good to share their experience, yeah, to get some input from your seniors. But I told them that we have the updated handbook. You need to go to that open learning page. You need to get the latest FYP handbook, and we have the latest requirements. Please get those latest updated materials. So we need to tell them, because I found that writing reports for FYP, they love to use their seniors' work. Maybe it's easier, yeah, so that they have some guidelines. But at the end of the day, they tend to copy. You see, it's copy paste. Sometimes you can see students come to you, Miss, I want to do this, I want to do this. I mean, fix, and they are not flexible enough to change. I mean, I don't want to change. I just want to do this topic. Why? Because they have something behind. They have a complete report which they can just copy. So you have to as the supervisor, you need to check. Yeah, I mean they can do it, but you have to check why. From where you got this idea, you must do the investigation to provide, so that you can justify why I want to do this topic instead of just copy and paste from their seniors. Okay, so to make sure that we maintain the standards, I think there are only 3 roles of supervisor. Anything else that you guys would like to add in terms of roles of supervisor? I think that quality, the ethical issues, and then the moral support. Anything else? No? So I guess this will address the issues on the lack of knowledge, not writing according to template. So hopefully by doing this, students are aware of the latest requirements. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Alright. Okay, next we'll talk about key skills for effective supervision. What are the skills that we must have? Okay, one is communication. Of course, even as a teacher, as a lecturer, communication is very important. And it can be more challenging when you need to supervise these research students, right? So, how we communicate with our students can be an online meeting, can be physical meeting, can be email, can be students draft that we submit to you and you write your comments. Those are part of communication, right? So whatever input that you like to give to your students must be clear and constructive feedback. Yeah, constructive feedback. And must be specific, because I've seen comments on supervisors improve further. This is not clear. Your chapter 2 is not clear. And sometimes students come to me, Miss, my supervisor told me chapter 2 is not clear. So what is not clear? So what should I do? Okay. Your chapter 1 is not clear, and then improve your chapter 1. Improve your chapter 1. Improve your chapter 2. So students will come back and Miss, how can I improve? Because there are many subtopics on the chapter 1. So which part? Research problem not clear. My research objective, research questions are wrong. So please give them clear, specific feedback and constructive. You cannot just tell them, okay, this is all wrong. This is very poor. And give some constructive feedback so that you know how to improve. And during your online physical meeting, please do active listening. Listen to your students as well. They might have issues, challenges from their side, and try to help. Yeah. For example, use specific examples and frame your critics positively. To active listening during meetings. I have students who came to me telling me that, Miss, my supervisor refused to see me physical, only online, only online meetings. So that depends on the supervisor style, but sometimes the needs of the students you need to understand as well. Yeah, they prefer to come physically so that we can discuss further instead of online meetings. So please listen to their needs as well. Maintain eye contact. Those rephrase that points to show those communication skills that we must have in order to make sure that we communicate effectively with our students. Yeah. So I think the most challenging part is communication, especially lately we start having China students very difficult to communicate. And lately, instead of talking to the student, talking to their phone because they use translator. So whenever they want to tell me something, they just type and then show me their phone. So it's very challenging. It's very challenging, yeah. Second key skills is motivation and engagement. To motivate your students and yourself, okay, to go further in supervising these students. You must have strategies to inspire them. What are the strategies that depends on your staff and based on your students' needs? Yeah, you may use different strategy to different students. Some students are well prepared, so you may use different strategy, and some students they are lost. So need to figure out what are the strategies that you can use in order to motivate these students. One, you can share your personal research experience. Yeah. What we can do sometimes when they are totally blur and have no idea what to write. So the first thing maybe we share previous thesis, previous FYP report so that they have ideas. So these are the 5 chapters, these are the components of the 5 chapters so that they have some ideas. Yeah. 2, involve them in decision making. You can get them involved in decision making, such as to identify the population, what do we want to study. But of course, from their feedback, from their input, we try to guide them to make sure that we do it correctly. Yeah. So in terms of methodology, yeah, how do you want to collect your data? Even though we know this is what we're supposed to do, but at least ask them, okay, what do you want to do? What do you want to study? How do you want to do that? Get them involved instead of giving instructions. Yeah. And 3, which we have discussed earlier, recognize their achievement. So hoping that by recognizing their achievement, this will motivate them to write further, because it's very challenging to get them to write, to keep writing. Yeah, because sometimes, okay, Miss, I'm done chapter 1, and after that, MIA, right? And you have to keep calling them, hello, where have you been? What have you done? So check them regularly. Okay? Third skill is conflict solution. what kind of conflicts, what kind of challenges can be different, yeah, from one student to another. All right, provide strategies for overcome those obstacles. Personal problems, of course, there's a line, yeah, how much can we solve them, how much can we interfere, but we have to be very careful. Some of them are not willing to share, but if you're willing to share, if you are not the right person to advise, we need to send them to our counselor. Yeah, we can see that the number of those students with mental health issues increase. Yeah, so if we cannot consult them, we have to be very careful. Yeah, if we cannot consult them, we cannot fix this. You have to send them to the right person, the counselor. But you have to be very careful. Some of them are not willing to see the counselor. They are not happy when you send them to the counselor. So you have to be very careful with that. Yeah. I think we experienced before, right, Nora? One of the parents called while the child is shouting in the room, crying, depressed, everything. So just because of FYP. So to that extent, yeah. So the emotional support can be given, but this depends. Yeah, this depends how much, what kind of problems that they are facing. Okay, sometimes they struggle not because of those emotional issues. Sometimes struggle, they can be very stressful because Miss, I waited for like 2 or 3 weeks. I only have 10 respondents. I mean, in terms of their research process. So you can suggest, yeah, instead of using the link that they can share with their friends and then get the friends to share. I mean, these can be advised. Yeah, you can tell them to use alternative methods in their struggling with their data collection. To check students regularly, I know it's their responsibility. As FYP coordinator, I always tell them that your supervisor will not look for you. It's your responsibility to report yourself and report what you have done to your supervisor. Yeah, but as a supervisor, if there's no news for 2 weeks or maybe after the deadline that you have given, please check. You drop an email asking what is their progress.
I think this I want to comment.
Yeah.
I think supervisors need to follow up and show proof that they have. So next time, if there are any issues coming up, right, then you have nothing to say that you didn't do your part. At least 3 times. Don't just call, put down, deliver for me. You have to call 3 times and then WhatsApp and then email. Actually, I was advised by Prof. Phan not to use WhatsApp. Use the official channel, which is email. So you have evidence. If the student didn't turn up, then you are clear, okay? So that is the best part, because if you didn't do any follow-up, and then just depend on you and depend on PL, it's not right. You are the first one. First contact that has to go through a lot of getting in contact, okay?
Agree, because that is to protect ourselves as well, to show that we have done our part. Yeah. Send emails. Yeah, I don't use WhatsApp as well. I communicate with my students using emails. And after maybe 3 emails, there's no response, no reply. Please inform coordinator and PL so that we can take further action, which is required. There's no reply at the end of the semester. Or no submission, no news. I have no idea what
some supervisors, they just try once and they say, I tried already.
Okay, all right, so maybe keep checking on that. So, but if they are missing, there's no response, it's very important for us to inform coordinator and PL so that we, because sometimes they attend classes, but they don't reply or email just because of this research, right? So we can try to look for the students, yeah? Okay, yes, students are looking and also suggest stress relief techniques. Okay, if they're so stressed, you can see they are too tired, sometimes they're so that they work too hard, right? You can suggest. I think I have one supervisor, Stella. She got one of the students very stressful, but that student is very careful. She keep, I mean, good students, but at the end of the day, she's so stressful. So she suggested, go and run, go and do this. I mean, some physical activities. I mean, yeah, I just suggest so that they can relieve their stress. Just send, people at 3 a.m.
For a essentially,
Yeah,
that's
that's
always comment. That's every time because it happens every time. I'm not going to read that first. You check what you have written because sometimes it's English, but it's the translation of their mind, and their mind was in Chinese. So it's Chinese writing, but word is English.
Yeah.
And it really makes sense. Even for them, when they reread, they say that, but I don't understand what I have written. Can you help me? They can put in your mind. How do I know what you want me to mean? Yes, yes.
So after the one part.
So I always ask them to reread what they have written to make sure that it's what they want me to check. Remember to check that. Because at 3 a.m. 4 a.m. definitely there will be some hiccup.
Yeah, so it goes back to the communication issues then, right? Okay, yeah, but at the same time, students, when we use email to communicate, of course, they can email us at any time, right? So we have to be very clear, what is our practice, what is email at any time, but I would like to working hours on this weekend, then I would like next working day. So you have to explain, so this is your practice, because different supervisors may have different styles. Sometimes the students inform, oh, miss, this supervisor use WhatsApp. This supervisor will still reply me, but not this teacher. So they compare. So that's why it's very important. Once you got students, need to set the line. We have to be very clear. This is what we do. Yeah, and email me, that's WhatsApp. I will reply. Make that clear. Okay. All right. Any other important skills that we need? No, so it's more towards communication, motivating them, and also to resolve those conflicts, if any. Okay, let's go to supervision styles. Okay, this is based on a few 2005 theories, According to this theory, there are 4 supervision styles, The first one is pastoral, contractual, laissez-faire, and also direct supervision. Okay, the first one, pastoral, back to this. Okay, this author, he categorized the supervision styles based on structure and support. Structure means how much you as a supervisor focus on the research itself, meaning your guidance. You really look at their chapter 1, chapter 2, you only focus on their work. While support focus on emotional support, building good relationship with students, motivating them, being nice to the students, but sometimes less focus on their work. So you can do that, depends on what kind of students you have, and the needs of your students as well. So based on this author, the first style is pastoral, where these kind of supervision styles, they have high support but low structure. High support meaning very sensitive to students' needs, build good relationship with the student, but less focus on the research elements. You can do this, but it requires greater students' independence. If you have independent students who work hard and the student knows what to do very clearly, then you can apply this stuff. The second one is contractual. High support and high structure. Both are high. Focus on research, but at the same time, very good relationship with the students. And the third style is laissez-faire. Low support. Let's focus on the students' needs and not really close to the students, but also let's focus on research. So according to this theory, this is the worst one now.
We go through this, because most practice.
Those okay. And the last one, tutorial, low support but high structure. I think this is quite. We don't have. It's not that we don't have a good relationship, but there's no close relationship with students. But we only focus on their work. So which is the best? there is no one size fits all. There's no right or wrong. There's no best supervision style. As I said, that depends on the needs and expectations of the students and supervisor. Yeah, and it's not necessary that you apply the last directorial just because of I mean, you love to apply that style. That depends on the needs of your students as well. Yeah. If they are so independent, then okay, let's focus on the structure. Okay. And based on research, shows that students across every discipline, various supervisors who are one accessible. Okay. Email when they want to see you. I mean, of course, if you have no class, you can also, appoint another slot, right? Sometimes when they're written things, I would like to see you today, 12 noon. Of course, you can't if you have class, but suggest another slot, yeah? I'm sorry, I have class today, can you come tomorrow at 10? They might have class tomorrow at 10, so discuss the usual, the slot, yeah? So, approachable. Okay. Supervisors must be approachable. Sometimes students give feedback. Means I'm very scared to talk to my supervisors. I'm very scared to approach my supervisor. How can I do that? That's why I think most approach are nice. Yeah. But I'm not sure why. Then try to be approachable so that they feel comfort to share. Yeah. Encouraging, interested. You must show interest. Yeah, in terms of the students, in terms of their topic, yeah, it can be quite challenging, especially if that is not your area. Yeah, but that's why, as I said, we need to study as well. Okay, open and flexible. Yeah, listen to your students. Professional. I've heard from students, we have supervisors who ask for coffee every meeting. Yes, ask for coffee every meeting.
Some students meet and they get from. As we meeting, they meet and they have it directly. So they should know the question. Yeah. Question. The easy question. That's why you have student wake up just before to look. So supervisors question. They get it.
Students request no issue, right? But they consent and they feel comfort to discuss with you. Yeah, but this is why you have professional. We are not supposed to set that.
Yes.
Yes, it's here. Okay, but I think that's why it's not already. It was last year. Okay, and also they try to understand them because sometimes you set the deadline, means I have so many assignments, blah blah blah, but try to put together. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's all. Next time, and Jasmine will continue. Do you need 5 minutes break? Yeah. Okay. Okay. We have a break. 5 minutes. Yeah. For just 5 minutes. All right. 5 minutes.
Thank you.
Yes. Right, okay, so I will continue the conversation, okay, so I'm Dr. Jasmine, okay. I will just want to continue on the next part, whereby, right, how are you going to provide constructive feedback and information, okay? So now this one is very, very important, okay, timely feedback, okay. Now, I would like to emphasize that the importance of the first meeting when you have with your student. Okay, during the first meeting, you must tell what is your expectation as a supervisor. All right, tell the student. Okay, all right, say that if you submit something to me within how many days, I will actually provide feedback to you. Okay, and also right, it will be good that every time students send you something, right, provide a reply email to acknowledge that you actually received. Otherwise, the student, right, some of the student, right, their anxiety level will be very high because they will not get any response from their supervisor. Then they will go to Hannah. My supervisor never reply. Okay, all right, they will go to the FYP coordinator, say that my supervisor never replied me. My supervisor is missing in action. Okay, so the first meeting is very, very important. So you set your expectation. Okay, so within how many days you will give the acknowledgement? Within how many days you will actually provide the feedback? So this is something very critical. Okay, it's also a way to protect yourself. Okay, saying that you actually done your part. Okay, so feedback now, why the feedback is actually very important, okay, for degree level FYP, right, okay, basically, even though we said that they're actually given 2 semesters to finish one research project, but however, right, the timeline, you have to understand that, right, within the same semester, also they are doing other subjects, all right, so that's why the timely feedback to them is actually very important. Okay, so that if you delay, right, giving the feedback, they may not actually able, because some of them, right, they may need major correction. So if you come to the end of the semester, student having a lot of other assignment, which is not fair to the student as well. All right, okay. So that's why the first meeting set a very clear timeline with the student. It will be good that you sit down with them and actually telling them, okay, this is a timeline you want. By the first 3 weeks, okay, your chapter 1 must be done. Okay, I want to see your research gap is actually out. So sit down with the student, tell the student, right, okay, this is a timeline aspect of you. So communicate all these expectations clearly, okay? And also like just now, Hannah mentioned that some of the students, right, okay, they will actually have to start to compare their journey with other students, their classmates or whatever. They will just come back and tell you that, how come my other friend, their supervisor can do something like this, and why I don't expect this thing from you. So that's why this is the importance of the first meeting. Tell the student, right, why you are not doing something like this, okay? Every student, right, they have their own unique requests, okay? They will come to you with some of those requests, but that's why like I said, first meeting, communicate why some of those things, right, you do not follow, okay? Like some of them, right, they will say that how come the other supervisor, right, they were able to communicate with the student using WhatsApp, but you are not willing to do so. So communicate everything, all these things clearly to the student, okay? Okay. All right. So now the next one is a constructive feedback, okay? Constructive feedback. Okay, so this one, right, we as a supervisor, a lot of the time, you know that, right, your role, right, is not just supervisor. You actually having other role. You are the subject lecturer. You may become the internship, coordinator, supervisor as well. We actually have a lot of others role. Okay, so that's why, right, in this case, right, when you actually get the students submit their draft to you, right, a lot of the time we only focus on the area that they need to improve. All right, you fail to acknowledge the strength point of their work, which is something very important, right? To actually help them to get their motivation, to actually help them to build their confidence, okay? So that's why always start with some of those positive comments, okay? Say that you have done a good analysis on your literature review part, okay? So however, okay, these are some of those things that you can improve further. Now, when we say that improve further, like Ms. Hannah said, that do not just stop and improve further, okay? So you actually need to tell them that what are the area, right? So if some of those things, right, you think that provide article as an example for them to refer, it will be good, okay? Now, I I do understand that some of the supervisor, right, even myself also, sometimes, right, we may have the difficulty, right, to actually explain to the student on certain research because a research area. So the best way, a lot of the time, we will just say that, okay, we just give student one example, okay, give student example to let them go through. But before you actually give the student an example, you yourself must understand, all right? Because otherwise, right, student will actually follow blindly the sample that is actually given, right? So that sample may not be the best one. And they don't really understand why they have to put in such a way. So that's why, right, constructive feedback is actually very, very important, okay? So that at least they know that, right, okay, by referring to this sample, what I can get from this sample. It's not just blindly follow, especially come to the part, research methodology part. They will just copy whatever from the senior, okay? And then done the whole thing to their own research context. But a lot of the time, it doesn't work that way. Okay, it doesn't work that way. So that's why before you actually want to tell the student to follow a sample, okay, then you yourself have to understand that what is the usefulness of that sample that you want to give to the student. All right. Okay, yeah, this one, tailor the feedback to the student needs, okay? So that's why, like Miss Hannah said, that we actually have a lot of those students, right, come to you with different needs, okay? So last time I used to speak for my students face to face so that they can actually, I will tend to have that feeling said that it will be like more sociable, all right, they can see me, but lately I find that, right, okay, I seem to think that some of the students, right, you actually give them quite a number of the feedback, but the next round when they come back to see you, right, you realize that how come some of those comments, right, you actually communicate to them, but they don't incorporate into the revision copy. That is, when I communicate with them, I said, oh, why these are not incorporated? Then they said that, Miss, you talk so fast, you have too many comments, I won't be able to write down everything. Okay, then I said, all right, if that is the case, right, then next round, I will see you online. The reason why I want to see them online is because I can record that session for them. So then I said that after that, you play back, you take a look what are those things that actually I want you to do. All right. So and then the next round, I will switch to face again. So this one is the way, one of the way we actually can tackle on the student academic needs. Okay. So that's why some of them they may prefer written comments, okay? So that's why when you want to give the written comment, make sure that it's not like what Ms. Hannah said, that improve further, okay? Whatever that you want to ask them to improve, be specific, say that, okay, the problem statement is unclear, it's not divided using factual evidence, okay? Citation or reliable source must be cited, okay? Not from those blog, okay? The source not from those blog, it must be from the reliable source. Even also tell them that when they want to get some of those source from Google Scholar, make sure that at least from those top tier journal, when they go to Google Scholar, you see the publisher, Taylor Francis, Elsevier, Emerald, all these are reliable source, not from those unknown source, okay? So these are some of those things, right? Okay? Like Ms. Hannah said that some of us, right, we ourselves also not very confident when we want to actually supervise the student. So that's why a lot of us, right, we will tend to follow the shortcut. We will just give the student a sample, ask them to refer. But again, like I say, right, whatever sample that you want to show to the student, you yourself must know that sample is for what purpose. Ask them to refer to specific area. Again, no research is perfect, so no thesis is perfect as well. So when they want to give the sample, tell them that, right, these are the areas you can refer to, all right, why you can refer to, because they demonstrate a very rigorous research methodology stack. So tell them these are some of those samples that you can refer to, okay? Now, balance the detail in the feedback, okay? I believe that when during the student RM semester, right, they actually start to work on their proposal. So when they go to FYP 1, they will come with the proposal. And some of you, as a supervisor, you may get a shock. So you will say that this student require major revision, okay? But again, right, as a student, some of them may not be that well versed with the research process.
So when you want to give the comment, right, still again acknowledge them that say that I understand that you have put in effort, okay? So that's why these are the areas you want to improve, but not on the first meeting, you give them 20 pages on the correction that they need to make, all right? So focus on the key area first, or if not, you sit down with them, set a timeline, say that, okay, for the first meeting, we will tackle the issue for your chapter 1 first, okay? So the subsequent topic, right, we leave it at the subsequent meeting, okay? So that's why sit down with them, okay? Just tell them that, okay, what are those areas that need to improve? And sometimes, right, you will get this kind of comments from the student. Miss, this is what actually I learned during my research methodology class, okay? But you give me a different thing, okay? Which one I should follow? It's something very common, you will get this kind of comments, okay? Now, don't answer, say that, oh, the one that you learned in research methodology is wrong. No. Under social science research, right? Under social science research, there are a lot of those different support thoughts. It's good that you explain to the student, okay? There's nothing wrong what is being taught in the research methodology class. It's just that you as a supervisor, you prefer this school of thoughts. You prefer this practice, okay? That's why even some of the students, right, they will come back, right? Like my student, right? I think in the research methodology class, even the research methodology class I attended before is that we do chapter 1 first, then we move on to chapter 2, we move on to chapter 3. But however, right, I also did attend the class, right, whereby, right, some of the supervisors or some of the speakers, they actually encourage the students start with chapter 2. They said that, yeah, you did your literature review, from there you find the gaps, okay? So then you go back because the gap will become your problem statement in the chapter 1. So there is no right or wrong, okay? So there is no right or wrong. So no need to tell the student what you have been taught in the RM class is wrong. It doesn't work that way, all right? So just always provide a justification to your student why it actually work in such a way, okay? So I say the first meeting, right, when you receive the student research methodology proposal, all right, even though you know that there will be a major revision is required, all right, try to balance out, okay? So that's why in this case, right, it depends on the student needs. Okay, yeah, ability as well. So you can judge from there. Okay. So I do understand that some of the supervisors, even I myself am one of them. I'm actually very particular with the student, like formatting, okay, their citation method. All this is actually citing formatting issue. Okay. So, but again, like I say, if the first meeting you see a lot of those issues, right? Put this thing aside first, focus on the main area, okay? Like sit down with them, tell them that what is the problem with their problem statement, what is the issue with their research objective, okay? Now, I do understand that, like for example, when you give the comments, you say that your research objective and your research question are not aligned. However, not many students understand what is that meaning for not aligned. For us, right? We as a supervisor, we know, but when you write down such a statement, they may not be able to understand what is the meaning not aligned. So that's why this is the time why you need to sit down with them face to face, show them what is the meaning not aligned. Okay, so that's why in this case, sometimes even though you provide a very lengthy explanation, they may not be able to capture that. So that's why this is important for you to sit down with them, go through with them. Okay. All right, now I move on to the next part on the evaluation and assessment. Okay, evaluation and assessment. Okay, how many of you, right, ever take an FYP marking rubric discuss with your student? Yeah, discuss. Okay. Yeah. That's right. Okay. That's right.
Even FYP handbook.
Yes, I know. Okay.
I should remind them, trying to understand the rubrics so that they know what are the requirements.
Yeah.
Okay. See.
Yeah.
We have mentioned.
Yeah, please looking
We are afraid that we may actually
Okay.
just want to do things subject to. For me, that I said, she has done it. Just follow one.
Okay. So that's why a lot of the time, we always tell the student is there at the open learning, okay? And I believe that FYP coordinator is actually to communicate with you. But again, it will be good that you sit down with your student, check out that, all right, marking rubric, and go through with them. Say that, see, if you want to score better, right? At least these are the mistakes you should not make. So that's why this is one of the way, right? You let the student have a very clear expectation what you actually want from them. Okay, it's not something that later on also is a way to protect yourself. Okay? Why? Okay, you actually have to guide according to the expectation, according to the rubric. Okay, this is a requirement that is needed. Okay, so every stage in the rubric also they actually break down in a different stage, right? So that's why you can actually tell the student for this methodology, okay, you need to meet this criteria. Okay, you must actually have a very clear discussion on your research design, very clear discussion on your research method, very clear discussion on your, you must list out all the items you are going to ask. So this thing is actually spelled clearly. So sit down with the student, okay? So at least your student know what is the direction they need to go for it. Okay. Now, the next one is encouraging self-evaluation. Yeah. So this is what happened to my student as well. When my students submit to me, right? When I look at the way they submit the work to me, then I will ask them back. If one day you are the lecturer, you get this piece of work, how do you feel? Okay, that's what I will tell them, ask them. So that's why, right? Okay, you always ask the student to take ownership of their work. Okay, always tell them that, right, this is your work. Okay, we are here as a supervisor. We are not here as a teacher or as a lecturer to tell you what are those grammar mistakes, what are those format thing that we need to actually tell you what to do to correct for you, okay? So you need to take ownership. Check your work before you submit to your supervisor to take a look, okay? Take ownership on that, okay? So that's why I always ask them this question. How do you feel if you get this piece of work? Because all those, like Ms. Anna said, that all those material is actually uploaded in the open learning and they are being briefed on that also. So you as a supervisor, I believe that most of you also you done your part to brief them, okay? So that's why actually it's good that ask them to think, okay? If they are in the supervisor's position, okay? And also a lot of the time, like the student will actually come to you, okay? Miss, they want you to come up with a research idea for them. Okay, they want you to come up with a research idea for you. For them, again, right? I do understand that. Okay, I do understand that some of the supervisor, okay, because you have a KPI you want to meet, so that's why you will actually tap on the students' research work. Okay, so later on you can actually use the work for publication or whatever. Okay, but again, like I say, right, this is students' work. Okay, this is students' work. Like I always tell my students, okay, they start doing research, they start their research journey is going to take 1 year. Research methodology first semester, FYP 1 and FYP 2. So it's about 1 year. Okay, so this is the baby that they need to look after. Okay, I always tell my students, I cannot become a good stepmother because that is your baby. So you need to have an interest. I am here to guide you. I'm here to provide the support. I'm here to provide the guidance. Okay, tell the student clearly. But however, as a supervisor, right? Okay, you actually, I do understand that some of the supervisor they come up with a model to the student. Okay, this is a model you need to work on it. All right. But again, right, you have to make sure that along the way the student really able to actually go through the whole research process and learn something from it. Okay. Now, the final evaluation, okay, the final evaluation, because I believe the process is that, right? We actually have that process. One of the timeline is that the final copy must send to you before they actually submit the order to the school, all right? So that is a time, make sure that provide holistic feedback to them so that they know what is their strength, okay? So why does strength, because like I say, okay, a lot of the time we always tell the student, these are the areas you need to improve. We fail to acknowledge something good about their work, okay? Again, like I say, something good about their work, there's the time you can help them to build up their confidence, okay? That is something very, very important. So, acknowledge whatever they are actually doing good. So those areas you want them to improve, right? Okay, you want them to improve. I do understand that sometimes the work that comes to you may require major amendment, okay? And some of those things, right, it has been done, right? That error or that mistake, right, needs to be done before data collection. But however, the student already collected the data. So some of those issues, right, with the time constraint, we will not be able to go back to ask them to rectify this issue, okay? So because like Ms. Hannah said, that we have the case the student did not inform the supervisor and start the data collection. So when we realize it's too late and we realize that the time constraint, right? So in this case, right, you have to really tell the student what are the mistakes or what are the areas, so that at least next time, if they have a chance to further study or take another courses, they know that this is something that they need to be aware of. Okay? All right. Any question? Or any best practice y'all can share with me? Yeah. Or any challenges that y'all face when you give feedback? I do understand that this day we have a lot of students that come to us with language barrier issue. Yes, so this may become something very challenges. Okay, it may become.
I would say that now it's less a problem than it was before ChatGPT. Because they can write whatever they have in their mind and ask for clarification. So it allows them to be a little bit better in their writing. But again, they cannot just copy paste it. They need to learn how to be smarter than ChatGPT.
Yeah, that's why I actually read one of the posts in the social media said that this day, right, we are no longer there to supervise or to provide constructive feedback. It's more like, yeah, we are more like a plagiarism detector.
Yes.
Yeah, so this has become one of the challenges I think most of us are facing. So that's why if you monitor the student constantly, you know their level, you know their ability. So you won't get a shock at the end of the semester. The question whether this is the original work by the student or not. Okay? Yeah, because I do understand that sometimes when the student communicate with you using email, the language, the level is different from the work that is submitted to you.
It's not that student.
It is not their work. Yes, that's why this thing, right? Because we can, because as a university policy at this moment, right? Okay, we cannot say that we ban ChatGPT, and also the technology, the current technology cannot effectively and accurately capture on this also, to detect on this. So that's why, like I said, most of the time we have to become a plagiarism detector. Yeah.
And I think if I may add, we need to play our role to make sure that they know what they have written. I mean, of course, copy paste or that ghostwriter, it's beyond our control. But we have to make sure in every meeting they are able to tell us, they are able to demonstrate their understanding, their own work. Otherwise, I think we have experienced before, right?
Yes, we have to buy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how we to test them. Yes. Okay. So we move on to I think this is the last topic that we have, ethical consideration. Now, this day, right, ethical consideration has become a major concern. Okay. So that's why this part, I would like to address on this part. Okay. Now, so academic integrity with the introduction of all those AI, generative AI, right? Academic integrity has become an issue. And another thing is that because a lot of universities are chasing after the KPI, so academic integrity has become another serious concern. We always say that the dark side. Yeah, all right. Okay, so always encourage honesty and transparency in all the research process. I believe that some of you definitely encounter this issue. The student, right, 2 weeks to go before the semester end, all right, only get a clearance from you for your questionnaire to be released. Within 2 days time, they come back with 384 responses.
Yeah, beautiful. You want to get response, how difficult it is.
Yeah, I believe every one of it, either in degree level, master level, right? I feel
So difficult. Yeah.
yeah, because we ourselves experience that stage data collection is actually something very hard for us to get, okay? But they come back to us within 2 days, 384, that magic number responses come back to you, okay?
Okay, you know what? I got one of the students, a group of them, right, to tell me what they're doing. It's Ashwin's group, me, Janet, a few of them. They use the same respondents. That means the respondents they use for one student because they are different candidates. So they use the same one, and that's how they should get here.
So this is data fabrication, you falsify the data, and then even some of them, right? Because when we all do research, right? Especially quantitative research, we always want that legit less, your p-value less than 0.05.
Yeah,
Hallelujah, okay, everything is significant, not so nice, okay?
yeah.
There's also the student, right? They go and falsify on the result, okay, without really understand that what made the hypothesis significant, okay? So they thought that just changing the p-value, everything is 0.00 less than 0.05. But remember that whoever that is really well versed in data analysis, not only checking on p-value, they also look at t-value. So that's why from there we actually can spot whether the student actually, right, manipulate on the outcome or not, okay? So that's why have to always emphasize the academic integrity to the student, okay? The ethical standard must be there. Data collection. We're talking about data collection, right? Like Ms. Hana said that, okay, informed consent has become something very important, okay? I do understand that these days a lot of students that collect the data using questionnaire, all right? So it's impossible that you ask your response to actually sign the consent form before they actually start on the survey. But, right, it's actually, this one, I'm not sure whether the individual school is actually aware of this or not. It's actually under the research ethics policy of the university. We actually did this statement saying that for survey, online survey, right? In your first cover page, they must have a checkbox say that, okay, by checking on this box, I agree that I give you my consent to participate in this survey. Actually, there is this statement there. So this is a way to protect yourself also, okay, by upholding on the research ethics, say that you already obtained the research the informed consent, okay? And also in the first page of your questionnaire, you must actually inform clearly what is your research objective, what is your research title, and then make sure that you do not collect any identifiable information like email, names, all these things from the respondent. So all these things must be communicated clearly to the respondent in the first page of your questionnaire. Okay, I know that a lot of students, they do not include this segment, say that, right? There's a checkbox. Or even you don't want, because I do understand that some of those like Google Form and Microsoft Form, they have limitation. They don't allow you to put in a checkbox there. If that is the case, right, then you must have actually include another statement also by a voluntary submission of these questionnaire imply my consent. All right, this sort of statement, this is a way to protect yourself. Okay. Now this one is Hanaliza, okay? All the generative AI, right? So this has become something very.
Can I ask something?
Yeah.
On the previous one, the ethics, right? Because the FYP, right? We don't have like a formal ethic
Yes.
consent.
Yes.
So how do we make sure this is done?
So actually, right, the last.
The form that they put up or how, like to give a consent to answers?
Because in the Google form there, right, actually the university policy already, I think last year they outlined circulation, but
I think you need to show,
not for degree.
Yeah, not for degree. So if you want for undergraduate, maybe you can give a sample.
I make them do the first box. I ask them to write disclaimer, and then I agree,
or click and decide the something like that. Yeah,
Can you just, so I mean, have one example for us? at least we can all have it done, I mean, covered.
It's not because standards.
Yeah, standardize it.
I will send the research ethics policy, okay?
But at least we need the example of the form, so that we know we need to include that.
It is not the formation of the question, it is one question.
I know that, what to write there?
Okay,
She's putting the policy we wait for what?
no, the policy that already mentioned that you must include this statement.
I am volunteering.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll be helpful, you can give us a sample in the.
Okay,
So we put this and the next one.
Yeah, that's also the same.
I mean, maybe the same sentence.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, at least.
So I ask them to write their own policies, they understand what we are doing.
So at least if
Now,
it is,
I mean, give them that,
Our
right now,
policy.
it depends on the individual supervisor.
Yeah.
And apply.
Yeah, but this one, right, moving forward, right, because research ethics has become a major concern, yeah. And especially if you go for publication, they always ask about the research ethics.
so then we should. We
Okay.
give it masa.
Yeah.
For this.
Okay, so citation, yes. So I'm not sure, I think the student also aware that, right, if you are writing using ChatGPT, a lot of those citations are not a reliable one. They may not even exist.
Now can review.
Yeah, but not a letter citation. It's those earlier citation like 2020.
Yes.
Yeah, it's reliable. But if you are talking about citation 2024, ChatGPT still cannot do it. So that's why randomly go and check on your student's citation. Some of those citations may not even exist.
Yeah.
Okay? Yes. This is all those saying that we as a supervisor, we have to do something.
So meaning what, 2024? Need to check 2024.
You can, yeah, that you.
Check the DOI lah.
Yeah, you go in Google Scholar, then check whether this citation actually exists or not. Yeah, but those earlier ones, because ChatGPT have access to this, so those earlier ones is
Are valid
yeah,
lah, but you can check lah.
yeah,
Okay.
that is something randomly, go and check.
The
Okay?
latest ones, but.
The latest one is the one.
Yeah.
Don't know whether it's published or not. Because it's latest ma, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Right, so we all know that, like, when we know that turning in is not, still unable to effectively and accurately capture. Last time they used to come out, all right, said that 100% they're using AI, but after that, there are so many noise, apparently, turning in also unable to capture this correctly. So there are a lot of controversy, so they stop it. So even though this day they release a new release saying that, right, they're able to detect. However, they also want all those users not to use this one to actually to fail the student saying that, okay, it's plagiarized, okay? So it will be good that you sit down with the student to actually discuss with the student, okay? So I believe that this one, the school actually provide, right, the workshop, tell them how to do the citation correctly, all those things is actually provided, okay?
Is it, I ask, when?
You see the library, right, but the outlines are given and then library, Mandalay, everything.
Because it's just given on the website, it's not like a class. Last time when I used to have one section just on referencing. So after they had my class, they did the reference, not say that I say I would know, but at least they know how to do it. Right now, there is no, it is just a matter of them reading. You think they read? Because why? I'm seeing people giving wrong citation, who's the bracket, and then all,
I think this thing.
that is how I know they didn't read. That is how I know they didn't read.
But I thought
They put it, they will do it for you.
No, that is not right. It's not right. That is the thing.
But some of
No, you have to still double check. It's not all right.
Yeah.
If they get it, then. Do it is me, right?
Yes, right, yes, but.
Still it's some of them are not right.
We have that in the English class, that's why sometimes you need.
That's why in their English class, I also detected they taught them wrongly, the full stop especially, they're very irritated.
So, she didn't ask what type of, scientific method. So I put it is 87, so that.
Yeah, so I
also teach.
that is the key, so.
I do understand that some other subject they're still using Harvard, right?
I'm not sure about that.
Because that's what, that's the time student get confused.
I think we have
Yeah,
to take from
I think we have to standardize all those, because I understand that some of the other subject that actually use Harvard referencing
Most subjects, you say Harvard or AP.
Suspended in the.
Just for research, we already standardized is APA, so that's why I think this is a time student mix up. Yeah. Okay, so maybe in the school level, I know that from research, we actually standardize is APA, always the letters addition.
I think maybe during the literature review, you have a literature review lecture, right?
Yeah.
So that time you can actually say something about referencing.
Can we,
Ada,
we teach them, yeah, we teach them referencing styles in the
Okay.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to say. We don't have a formal class to say that. Okay, then fine. You need to have, not that you don't ask them to read or what.
The classes, right, the one that taught them, are they using any software or whatever?
No, but we show the guidelines, for referencing, citations. And then, the open learning also, we have, from our own library, they have very detailed how to cite from this source, how to cite very detailed, very straightforward. Unless they check
I
last.
think that's fine for RM, but you know, even RM is than free. So work that they do is 7271, 7272 might be not up to the standard, you know what I mean? But never mind, as long as they do it for FYP.
Okay. Alright, so another one, something very important, okay? Fairness, okay? I do understand that it's easy for us to talk, be fair to everyone. But when you want to apply it, it's never easy. Because we just a normal human being, we as a supervisor, we actually have a lot of students that we need to supervise, okay? And we tend to get upset when some of the students, they do not perform to our expectation, then we get frustrated, okay? I do understand this one because I myself go through that stage, okay? So that's why, again, I would like to remind myself and remind every one of us, okay? Need to be fair to everyone, okay? Need to be fair to everyone. The only thing, right, try to maintain consistency to all the students that is under your supervision. But however, I do understand that some of the students, they come with different academic needs. Like I said, some of them, right, they may come to you say that, Miss, I only want to meet you online. Miss, I want to meet you physically. I want to meet you every 1 week. Some of you say that, no, I only want to see you 2 weeks. So this one, we are able to actually practice consistency. So that's why in this case, we actually need to take into consideration on that individual academic needs, okay? But as you can do, right, be fair to everyone regardless their background, their ability, or their personal circumstances, okay? We do understand that, like Ms. Hannah said, that this day we actually have more and more students come with a mental health issue, all right? I myself face that, okay? Student come to me, sit in front of me, non-stop crying for 2 hours. I have this case, okay? So that's why, right, in this case, right, we actually need to provide more support, okay? But again, like Ms. Hannah said that, it's not every one of us, we are good in this area. Sometimes it may actually make certain things more complicated, okay? Because some of the students just need more attention from us, which we are able to provide that. So in that case, right, it will be good that, right, you will refer the case to the counselor, okay? Now, cultural sensitivity, okay, cultural sensitivity, okay? We have, within Malaysia itself, right, we actually multiracial. And these days also, we're actually getting students from international, all right, from overseas country. So that's why, right, you need to sometimes be careful with all these cultural difference, okay? Like I myself, I'm a lot of China student. And in China, right, they always think that, right, first day you see your supervisor, they will buy you a lot of gift. Yeah, it may become a concern, a burden to you, all right? Because to them, it's like they give you something good, in return, you have to treat them well. So that one is actually causing a certain kind of burden on you, okay, emotionally, all right? So that's why, tell them, say that, right, what is your expectation? Why you do not expect this practice to be continued? Tell them nicely, okay? So that's why I've been telling my students that I don't need all these things. To me, all right, I treat everyone the same. The only thing I want from you is your research proposal, is your thesis. That's it, all right? They can understand, all right? Now, so that's why open discussion is very, very important, okay? So that's why some of the students, right, they will actually ask you out for breakfast, ask you out for lunch, ask you out for dinner. Okay, yeah, you may encounter this one. So that's why, right? Okay, the best practice of CMD. You don't go out with the first student and then you reject the second student. It's not nice. So okay, be consistent. Whatever thing that you want to apply to everyone. Okay, so like my kids, I don't want to go out dinner with them. So I just say that after office hour, okay, dinner, okay, I will just rather than you come to my office, we sit down, we can discuss. So that's why, like I said again, emphasize the importance of the first meeting. Set all these expectations very clear to the student. Okay. All right, yeah, this is the one, professional boundary, okay? Student will come to tell you that, Miss, well, how come other supervisor can do something? Why I don't get something from you, okay? So that's why, right, professional boundary, okay, is very important, okay? So you have to set your boundary very clear to tell the students. Tell them that you are the supervisor, you are there to help them, but you are not there to babysit them, to spoon feed them. The boundary needs to be set very clearly, okay? And also, right, first meeting also, like, we actually have this students said that how come you don't reply my email, all those things. So that's why I set all these expectations very clearly. The boundary also tell them that, right? Okay, you will not go out dinner with them, okay? These are some of those things communicate very clearly, okay? So avoid the matter of your potential conflict of interest, okay? And also don't be too personally involved in the student life, okay? If you are become too attached, right? I do understand that we are just normal human beings, all right? You want to maintain that level of objectivity is not easy, okay? Because the moment you are more attached, right, to the student, you tend to actually protect them too much until you lost that level of objectivity. So that's why that is something very important. Don't get yourself too personally involved with the student life, okay? So again, I say, whatever communication, what you want to do, right, be fair to everyone. If you want to communicate via WhatsApp, then allow everyone to have the same word. All right, okay? Now, the next one is that address an ethical dilemma. Okay, ethical dilemma. Why I want to say so is because, like I actually did raise up just now. So we all know that this area, right, research has become everyone of us KPI. Okay, so a lot of the time, right, when you go after, you want to fulfill that KPI, right? So you may actually tap on students' work. Okay. That is the time you need to make sure that, right, students, no matter under what circumstances, they are always the first author. Okay, they are always the first author. You want to take their work, you please make sure that you acknowledge that. Okay, like I say, right, in the academic or scholarly world, right, you cannot hide. It's just a matter of time. Okay, even a lot of work from the top ranking university, they managed to publish. But later on, if somebody going to report, all those journals will appear under retraction watch. You can go to one of the websites. All right, there is one website called Retraction Watch. All those articles, all right, whatever that has been retracted. Okay. Some of the country having very high ranking like China, India, Pakistan. These are the countries that have a lot of retraction. Okay, so that's why it's just a matter of time. Okay, so don't be. Even some of those, I think Professor NTU also, small ranking university from Singapore also, some of the work, right, okay, is being retracted because they use the student FYP work to publish without acknowledge the student's work. So these are some of those things that we as a supervisor, we need to be aware of this, okay? Also, right, even though you want to publish the student work, a lot of the time you just think that, oh, they already done their degree, they finished, they graduate already, it's okay, all right? But still, right, let them know that you are using their work, okay? All right, that's it. I'm done, okay?
Only.
All right, okay. Any some of those good practice, I believe that, right, we as a supervisor will experience a lot of unique cases, right? All right, So maybe it's good that some of you want to share any.
What about those online? Expired.
Yeah, Ali, help me to check all those things. Anyone of them?
Any comment from?
No comment. All right.
I think basically it's the students. Sometimes I see the name and they go, nice semester. Sometimes I say, I want to see the names. Then sometimes it's the student. Yeah, so they come up, nice topics, ideas, some will be totally lost. When they come up, you might just actually, if you like, wow, so the green investment, I spend.
Yeah, that's one.
So like I used to hear sometimes when they come up, you might just.
At the very beginning of the, just now when Hannah shared about the challenges, a lot of the time, right, we as a supervisor, we know that, right, something that is evolving, all right, whatever that you learn during your university time, right, may not be actually applicable to stay anymore. So that's why we as a supervisor, we actually under a lot of stress also, right? Sometimes, right, we are actually in a dilemma. You get a too good student, right? Our ability is not up there to actually to coach them.
Yes.
Okay, they might
Yeah.
question us a lot of
Yes.
time. Right? But if you are getting someone that right that's below your expectation, you also find it's very stressful to make sure that they meet that. Yeah, they meet that requirement to pass. So that's why it's very challenging. Okay?
It's not good to get people.
Yeah, we will like that.
Jalan to make past the missing. Too small. And that person will be sure that 1 hour, I don't information.
Yes.
1 hour.
So that's why last time I also got it. I also got it from Hannah. My speaker level. So that's why I said that importance of the first meeting. Okay.
You understand their styles and ambitions also then that's okay to
Because at that time online, you don't see it together. Then you say, oh, you submit, within at least 1 week to check.
Yeah. Okay. So in conclusion, okay, I do understand that it's never easy to become a supervisor. All right. Okay. A lot of the time, like I said, we as a supervisor, we need to constantly improve ourselves. Okay. To upgrade our own knowledge also in order for us to actually effectively supervise the student. Something that's very challenging. Okay. So, however, right. Okay, again, like I said, it's very important for us to keep improving ourselves. Okay, so I think TLC, right, from time to time, we all conduct workshop, right?
Yep.
Okay, so that's why take note of some of those workshops. I do understand that you all actually have a very tight schedule. You may not be able to join certain of those workshops. Okay? All right.
Then why we need it for our training hours? Yes, bring it on.
You come to the year end. Okay. All right. So any other question? No. So those online. Any other question?
Actually, the training will be good when you take actual sample and see where you can find. What's the framework especially.
The framework, sir. Okay.
For you, it may look broad. For me, it may look, I used to look at how. Oh, not bad.
I think that is as I say, we have different school of thoughts, but students are reminded actually during their FYP workshop, even during RM, we always remind them that what they learn is just a general guidelines for research. But when you have a supervisor, whatever styles, whatever preference given by supervisor, listen to your supervisor.
Yeah, we always tell the student the rules of thumb is that supervisor is always right. Yes. That's what we went through during our postgraduate study, right? Supervisor is always right. Yeah, they to support you.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Listen everything so why is
Yeah.
It's under the expectations.
True. Yes.
That's why we as a supervisor, I think we as a supervisor, always a question that we ask ourselves, okay? If one day you are the student, put yourself into the student's shoes, how do you feel if you get this sort of supervisor, okay? Or some of us, we are actually the parents, we also ask ourselves, if this is the supervisor that your kids get after you work so hard to pay for their tuition fee, and this is the supervisor they get in their uni time, how do you feel? So that's why trying to put yourself into the student's shoes, then actually, I think by doing something like this, you actually can perform better. All right. So no more. Can I stop? Okay, before I closing, right, just want to thank everybody, okay, and I apologize, these are not answers, we apologize for the earlier session for the kick-out, okay, and then thank you so much. All right, okay, thank you.
Marvelous.
I mean, hold your this.
The decisions are accurate and this is not being